All right, the Canada Pension Plan, look at what is highlighted there in the yellow. It says, as of June 30th, 2022, the CPP Investment Board manages over $523 billion in investment assets for the Canada Pension Plan on behalf of 20 million Canadians. So remember, this plan, Toronto Star put out an article the other day, and this was the article that was sent to me. It said Canadian workers could now see up to $305 less on their annual pay starting in 2 weeks, right? So meaning if you look at your annual salary, $300 from your annual salary is going to come off every single year to go towards this CPP plan. Now, there's three types of people when writing a plan. And you got to figure out which category are you. I'm just going to give you the three categories. Number one, there are those people that don't write plans at all. They just wing it. They just, come up with things on the fly. They just react with whatever happens. They don't write any plans down. I hope you guys are excited as I am to be here. And we have another Money Monday. So get ready. Get your seatbelts ready. Buckle your seatbelts because today is going to be one of those really exciting days. Just want to welcome you to today's webinar. Okay, want to welcome you to today's webinar. If this is your first time here, we welcome you. We welcome you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here for a second. And let's jump right into it. All right. Let us jump right into it. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Perfect. Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay. By the way, today, this is the year's last Money Monday. All right. The last Money Monday for the entire year. And I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope you had a great holiday if you don't celebrate. And the last Money Monday happens to fall on a Boxing Day. So we're going to have a Boxing Day special. So I think tonight is going to add a lot of value to you. It's going to add a lot of value to your life. And it's going to help you. It's going to help you to advance in several areas of your life. And you still have time to reach out to anyone that you've invited to this call. And if they're not here yet, I see George in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, buddy. If you're in the house, let us know by typing it in the chat. Say hello in the chat, and we know you're in the house. All right. So I am sharing my screen. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay. And we are going to jump right into it. Okay. Every single Monday we are here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Every single Monday we are here, and the topic is about money. All right. How to keep more of it. How to save more of it, how to put more of it in your pocket. And we're here every single Monday. All right. I was sent an article this week asking about the Canada Pension Plan. What's happening with CPP, Jermaine, in 2023? So I decided to cover that in today's economy. Now, the Canada Pension Plan, CPP, what is it? It's basically a retirement plan, right? It's a retirement pension plan that the government offers. It's a taxable benefit. And what it's intended to do is replace part of your income when you retire. Now, to get CPP, you need to be at least 60 years old. That's the first thing. Got to be at least 60 years old. And you need to have at least made one valid contribution to the CPP plan. That's according to the website, CPP's website. Okay. Now, here's the deal. If you qualify, you're going to receive CPP for the rest of your life. Whatever that amount is, you're going to get it for the rest of your life. And the amount you receive each month is going to be based on your average earnings throughout your entire working life, right? So what it's saying, the more you work and contribute to the CPP, the more you'll be able to make. All right. So it's based on your earnings. And the earliest you can get it is 60, but most people wait until they're age 65 to get it. So on my screen there, you're going to see a sample check. Okay, this is not a real check. It's just a sample check so I can make a point. But on here, you're going to see that they pay you your what? Your salary, right? They pay you your average salary or your income on this side. And on the other side, it's all the deductions. I want to pay attention to the deductions right now. So one deduction is CPP. That's the Canada Pension Plan. Another deduction is employment insurance and federal taxes, income tax, all of this stuff, right? Today, I want to talk about this CPP, this deduction of CPP. Well, let's take a closer look at it. All right. The Canada Pension Plan, look at what is highlighted there in the yellow. It says, as of June 30th, 2022, the CPP Investment Board manages over $523 billion in investment assets for the Canada Pension Plan on behalf of 20 million Canadians. So remember, this plan, what it does is it pays the person for the rest of their life, right? It pays for the rest of their life. So there's $523 billion in there on behalf of 20 million Canadians already. Now, always this question is coming. This question is always coming up. Will Canada Pension Plan be there when you retire? Will the CPP be there when you're ready to retire? So right now, you're 40 years old, let's say, as an example. You're going to retire in the next 25 years at age 65. Question you ought to be asking is, will the Canada Pension Plan be there when I retire? Now, the Toronto Star put out an article the other day, and this was the article that was sent to me. It said Canadian workers could now see up to $305 less on their annual pay starting in 2 weeks, right? So meaning, if you look at your annual salary, $300 from your annual salary is going to come off every single year to go towards this CPP plan. All right. So the CPP is increasing. Now, what is the state of the CPP? If you were going to retire today, all right, let's say you retired today in 2022, what's the maximum that you could get from the government benefits? This is old age security and CPP combined, right? Old age security and Canada Pension Plan. So with the Canada Pension Plan, you would be eligible for what? $1,253.59. This is the maximum that you can make. But remember, how do you get the maximum CPP? It's based on your average earnings, right? And they take a percentage of your average earnings. So the max you can get for CPP in 2022 for the next couple of days is $1,253. And then the maximum old age security that you can get is $642. Now, the old age security is based on how long you worked in Canada after age 18. So this is how they calculate it. So if you work the full amount, you get the full amount. If you only work a portion, you get a portion. All right. Now, that means the maximum you can get, absolute maximum, old age security and CPP, okay, is $1,895. Now, quick question. That's 22 grand a year, almost 23 grand a year. My question to you is, can you live off of the maximum government benefits? Can you live off of let's say $22,750 per year? Can you survive? Can you survive on that right now in 2022? The answer is what? No. All right. The answer is no. Now, can you survive on that if you're 40 years old and you're going to retire at age 65? So you have 25 years to go. Can you survive on $22,750? Let's say they raise it up a little bit. Can you retire on that? The answer is no, right? So it's very important. My next slide, it's very, very important that you do not leave your future in the hands of the government. What do I mean by that? You got to have a plan to make sure that you don't leave your retirement, your savings in the hands of someone else, i.e. the government, right? Your future does not belong in the hands of the government. Make sense? Does everyone got that? Right? So that's the deal with CPP. And I show that, and many people are not very excited. How many of you guys are excited about the Canada Pension Plan? You know, this is for those people that think the government is going to take care of me when I retire. Let me be honest with you. Can I be blunt with you? The government is not going to take care of you when you retire. They may have some supplemental income there to help along, but it's definitely not a replacement for your retirement. All right. So you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan for your future and not leave your future in the hands of the government. Now, I want to switch gears a little bit and start talking about planning your life. I shared this calendar a while back, and I want to share it again. It's the life calendar of a typical, it says American, right? But of a typical person. And in this calendar, each square is a week. In this particular one, each square is a week. And it shows, you know, the early years of the individual, right? It shows the elementary school, they go to middle school, high school, college, then they go to graduate school, then they start working, right? The red is their career. And then, you know, they spend most of their life in the career, and then they get to retirement. Make sense? So why am I telling you this? I want you to plan your life and not leave your life in the hands of someone else. So on the screen, it's a similar chart. This one is blank, all right? And it's showing a 90-year human life in months. So what it is every single circle is 1 month. Every single circle is in 1 month. So the first time I got this calendar, they said, Jermaine, here's what you got to do. Color each dot in for each month that you have lived, right? So if you're 30, for example, you should color all of these all the way up until age 30, right? Where it says there your 30th birthday. So I did that. And I will tell you, it was shocking when I saw how many of my life was colored and how much was remaining. And I really, at that moment, decided that I needed to take my life into my own hands, right? So I'm going to employ that you do that for yourself. So here's how you use this. Every single month, right? Each circle is a month. What you want to do is color in the months, right? Color in every single month that you have been alive, all the way down to, let's say you're 30 years old, you end up here. If you're 60 years old, you end up here. You color every circle for every month that you've been alive. So each row is 3 years, right? Each row is 36 months. It's 3 years. Today, the ultimate plan for 2023. Okay. Most people, they write their plans this month, the month of December, the majority of people. But here's the problem. They stop looking at it somewhere in the second or third or fourth week in January or in February. They stop looking at it. I want to say something. If you haven't looked at your plan since February, it means you wrote a plan for 2023. And if you haven't looked at that plan since 2023, since February, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, right? You didn't have a what? You didn't have a plan. It meant you had a wish. Okay, so many people, they don't look at their plan since February. They haven't looked at the plan. And if you're one of those people that you haven't looked at your plan since February, you didn't have a plan. What did you have? You have a wish. So today we're going to cover the ultimate plan for 2023. And this is not just a business plan. This is a life plan. I'm going to give you a life plan for 2023. Are you fired up about that? Is that exciting? 2023 is not going to be like any year that you've ever had if you follow this plan. How many of you would like this 2023 to be the best year of your entire life, all encompassing, right? How many of you strive to have the best year? Your best is yet to come. right? If you feel your best is in front of you, your best is ahead of you, you just need a strategy and you need to figure out how to put in the effort, you're in the right place at the right time. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Have you ever seen those people? They meet a significant other, right? And their relationship, it doesn't work out. So what do? They go and they find someone new. Then that relationship doesn't work out. So then what do? They go find someone else again, someone else new. Then that relationship doesn't work out again, right? So then they go and they find someone else again. And then that relationship doesn't work out. And then they go find someone else again. And the relationships keep not working out and they keep finding new people. 5 years later, they're asking themselves, why can't I stay in a steady relationship? How comes these relationships aren't working out? It's because every time one of the relationships didn't work out, they didn't ask themselves, what could I have done differently? This is a very powerful question. Write this down. What could you have done differently? What could you change about the next one? Is there a trend that keeps happening that's not working for you? It's the exact same way most people who write down their plans. The exact same way. What do I mean by that? You know, it says there in the slide, the past is where you learn the lesson. The future is where you apply the lesson, right? So what happened in 2022 for you? What went right? Right? What went right? Most people are thinking about is they're thinking about the next year. They're thinking about 2023, while the most important date for you is the year that just passed. That's where all of the learning came from. That's where all of the lessons is. Even if it was a bad year, you don't just chalk it up as a bad year and you forget about it, you ignore it. You learned your lessons. What could you learn from 2022? Learn from the past, prepare for the future, and live in the present. Okay? Very nice quote there. Learn from the past, prepare for the future, and live in the present. Now, if you had a horrible 2022, and I gauge the success, I gauge my year based on what percentage of my goals that I hit, right? So I look at the goal, and let's say I wrote it down, and how much of it became a reality. If less than 60% of my goals became a reality, it tells me that something's up. What does it tell me? It tells me, number one, I didn't give it my best effort or urgency. And number two, I didn't have the best strategy. Okay? So it's effort and strategy. Most of the time, it's number one. It's effort. Most of the time. Sometimes people say, Jermaine, you know, but there was a bad market, you know, the market going down like crazy, and they use that, right? That could be for maybe 1% of the time, but it can't be 99% of the time, right? 1% of the time, yeah, it could be something like that. But 99% of the time, it's effort. Effort is the challenge. Now, there's 3 types of people when writing a plan. And you got to figure out which category are you. I'm just going to give you the 3 categories. Number one, there are those people that don't write plans at all. They just wing it. They just, you know, come up with things on the fly. They just react with whatever happens. They don't write any plans down. Then the second group of people, those that they write plans down, but they forget to review it. So somewhere around 3rd week in January or the beginning of February, they stop reviewing the plan completely. They don't look at the plan anymore. Like, they get excited in the beginning and then it phases out. So they never review the plan. So that means right now it's December 26th. They haven't reviewed their plan all year. Maybe the last time they reviewed their plan was in February. The last time they looked at it was in February, right? So that's the second group of people. They wrote it, but they just don't look at it. They don't review it. And the third group of people, these are the people that they write plans, but it has 2 important components. It's mixed with logic and it's mixed with emotion. The plan is mixed with logic and it's mixed with emotion. So you assess which one of these three groups that you fall into, right? And you want to aspire to be number 3. And if you want to be in number 3, today is going to help you to be in number 3. First thing is, when you're making your plan, I call it the 5 pillars, the 5 areas, the 5 sections, whatever you want to call them. Make sure that your plan is touching on these 5 F's, okay? First one is your faith. You got to have a plan that for your faith. Faith is not accidental. Faith is intentional, right? So you have a plan to work on that. You have a plan for your family. This is the second F. You got to have a plan for that. You got to have a plan. When I say a plan for your family, I mean to strengthen your family, the relationships of your family. What's your plan to strengthen those relationships? It takes commitment and work to do that. And you got to have a plan for that. You got to have a plan for your finance. Many times when I talk about writing a plan, many people only think that I'm talking about finance. No, I'm talking about your life. Finance is a part of your life. It's a big part, but it's a part of your life. So you got to have a plan for your finances. You got to have a plan for your health or your fitness, staying healthy. You don't just wing it. You got to have a plan for that. Then you got to have a plan also for fun. Got to have a plan to have fun, your extra activities, your hobbies, what keeps you alive, right? These are what we call the 5 F's. Every single year, okay, I will write my plan. So this is the writing time plan. Every single year, I will write my plan. And my plan encompasses all of these 5 F's, as we call them. Your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, and fun. Okay, and it's a life plan. So I'm going to give you the blueprint. Okay, now here's the steps to creating your plan. I'm going to give it to you. All right, this is gold. Hope you have a pen and paper ready to write it down. What's step number 1? Write it down. Step number 1 is write it down. You see, change only comes from taking action. Do you agree? Not just by knowing about it. So that's why I want to encourage you to follow the process that we're talking about and get after it right away. You see, keeping your thoughts in your head is just like putting your dreams to bed. They're silenced. They're easily ignored. So you got to write them down. And let me give you a secret here. Put them in a place that you're going to see them on a regular basis. Put them in somewhere where you're going to see them on a regular basis. I remember once I used to keep it on the bathroom mirror, like right there in the bathroom mirror. And my wife is like, why do you have this big piece of paper sitting right here in the bathroom mirror? And I said, because I want to see it every day, right? I want to see it every day. You got to put it somewhere where you can see it every single day for the whole year. For the whole year. Make sense? Make sense? So what is this going to do? It's going to make sure that you're constantly reminded of them, and therefore you're more likely to take action when you see them every day. So in that, you got to make a list, put the steps, what you need to do to get your outcome. So for example, let's say you need to get your license or your certification, or you need to get something in order. Write that down. Write that down. Or let's say you want to reach a certain level of income. Write down the steps. What do you need to do to make that happen? Now, be realistic, but at the same time, don't hold yourself back from dreaming big. Okay? You got to dream big. Number 2, you got to create the vision for the year. All right? For the entire year, create the vision. What you want to do is imagine what that life is going to look like. At the end of the year, what do you want life to look like? What do you want your life to look like? And you got to be as specific in the details as possible. You got to picture yourself that you're already there. As you're writing down your vision, you're visualizing yourself already being there. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of questions that will help inspire you. You can jot them down. Here's one. Who are you with? right? When you think about your year, who are you with? Are you with your loved ones? Those people that are most important to you? Can you see their name? Can you see their faces? You know their names, right? Who are you going to be with? How are you going to spend your days? That's another one. Where are you going to be living? This time next year, where are you going to be living? This time next year, how are you going to be feeling? Picture how you're feeling right now. Pay attention to how you feel this very moment. Next year, this time, December 26, 2023, how are you going to be feeling? How much money do you earn, right? At the end of the year, December 26, 2023, how much money would you have earned for the entire year? What is your daily routine going to be like? Can you visualize and see your daily routine? What is your daily routine made up of? Is it made up of the things that are going to help you towards your goals and your dreams? Okay. The third thing that we want to do is we want to identify your values. This is we want to look at our values. Why? Many people miss this part in their writing of their plan. So their plan doesn't align with their value system, and then they're in conflict. So they find themselves trying to do the plan, but it doesn't feel aligned to them, right? It goes against what they believe and what they feel. So you got to analyze your past. Let me tell you how to do that. Analyze your past. This is going to help you to identify what your values are. You see, when you look back at your past decisions, you can see what the motivating factors were, what was behind those things. Okay, negative past experiences, they're very good teachers about our values. All right. Number 4, establish SMART goals. Establish SMART goals. If you've been with me for any period of time, you've heard about me talk about this. This is not new. SMART goals. SMART is an acronym. Okay. The S is specific. Each goal has got to be specific. For example, don't say, I'm going to lose weight. You got to say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Be very, very specific. The M is measurable. How long is it going to take for you to reach your goals? You got to establish how you're going to measure those goals, right? How are you going to measure it? How are you going to know that you're 60%, you're 50%, you're 30%, you're 100%? How do you know? It's got to be measurable, right? So pounds, for example, going back to the weight, I lost 3 pounds. Well, honestly, over this holiday, I didn't lose any pounds, okay? I didn't hold back on the eating at all. So maybe the weight is not a good example to use because I'm feeling guilty right now. But let's use it all anyway. Let's use it anyway. Now, why I'm saying the weight is because it's measurable. You can see, you can jump on a scale. You can see I lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds. You know, the person says, oh, I want to make more money. That's not specific enough. That's not measurable. What is measurable? I want to make an extra $100,000 this year. And how do you know? At the end of the year, it's measurable, right? The A. What is the A? What is the A? The A is attainable. Make sure your goals are realistic. Make sure it's possible and that you can actually achieve it, right? It's something that's achievable. The R is relevant. Make sure that it's relevant. The goal's got to be relevant to your long-term vision. It's got to be compatible with your priorities or what I said earlier. It's got to be compatible with your values. All right. And then the T is time-bound. So you got to have an ambitious goal, but it's got to have a deadline. The time is the deadline. When is it going to be achieved? Remember, a goal without a timeline or a deadline is just a wish. So that's SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. All right. And then number 5 is you're going to outline your action plan. All right. This is the 5th step. Outline your action plan. Your plan has got to be a detailed, let me say this again, a detailed step-by-step process of how you're going to achieve your goal. You got to identify the daily actions. What are those daily actions that makes up your daily routine? that if you add them up over time, you're going to hit your goal. What do you need to do on a daily basis to achieve your goal? Let's say your goal is financial independence and you need to have, $1.5 million saved in order to hit your financial independence goal. What do you need to do to hit that? Step by step, what needs to be done, right? What needs to be done? And then you schedule those. Let's say that you're in sales, for example, and you need to do sales calls. You need to do appointments. You schedule them in your calendar. And what do you need to do? Commit to taking action every single day. That's what you got to do. You got to commit to taking those actions every single day. And you got to put your action plan somewhere that you're going to see it every day. For example, on the bathroom mirror, where your spouse will see it and get angry at you. All right. Making sense so far? Now, how do you know if your plan is going to pull you through to the year? It's filled with logic and emotion. It needs to have logic and emotion. The mistake that a lot of people make when they're writing their plans down is it has logic. They'll write it out. It has a lot of logic, but there's no emotion. I was reading one of our business partners. This was early last month. Yeah. And we were just reviewing, going through their business plan, going through their life plan, really. And they had some notes on their plan that just got me so emotional. They were talking about helping, an orphan. They laid out the story of this orphan that they're supporting and what they're doing. And honestly, it literally brought tears to my eyes. Their plan was so filled with emotion. And that's something that's very hard to forget, right? Emotion is the glue. Many people don't have a problem with the logic. Where they have the problem is they don't add enough emotion to their business plan. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do that as we go through. Now, here's a big thing. Read your plan twice per day. The three biggest reasons why people fail to achieve their goals are what? What do you think they are? Number one, they don't take consistent action. Very simple. All right. Number two, they get distracted by other opportunities, other ideas, all of this stuff. And number three, they forget about it. They forget about their goals after a couple of weeks. They just forget about it. Right. So when you have your goals written down and you read it regularly, what's going to happen is your subconscious mind is going to work towards reaching that goal. You're paving this path, if you will, towards meeting your goal, even if you consciously don't realize it. Because what happens is your brain starts to filter out all of the unnecessary tasks that you need to work on, and it stops them, right? It takes away all of those unnecessary things. Now, the best time for you to read your goals or read your plan is in the morning, before you wake, just after you wake up, and at night, just before you go to bed. The last thing you do before you go to sleep is read your goals. Why? Because you're going to become highly focused. Highly focused. You see, by reviewing your most important goal every single morning, what you're doing is you're keeping the main thing the main thing. Most people aren't 100% focused on their goals. And therefore, what happens is they get distracted by other opportunities, other ideas, other goals. They end up becoming someone who hops around from idea to idea, and they just keep going from goal to goal to goal. The next thing that you do is you strengthen your commitment. Commitment is one of the key ingredients for success. If you're not fully committed to the goal, you're not going to give it all your effort. That's what is required to succeed. You know, Vince Lombardi says most people fail not because of a lack of desire, but because of a lack of commitment. 2023 should not be the year that you don't hit your goal because of the lack of commitment. Most people, they set goals. This is what happens, okay? They set goals. They get highly motivated for a few days. But in their mind, they're falsely assuming that they're committed to their goal. Because they're motivated, they think they're committed, but they're not. After a few weeks, there's some obstacles, there's some challenges come up. What happens? They quickly lose the enthusiasm and they drop the goal. They were never really committed in the first place. What they were doing is they were riding that temporary emotion. So you got to remember, commitment is not something that just happens. It's something that you develop over time. The next thing is going to happen is your automatic thinking is going to be focused on your goals. So after you review your goals for many, many weeks, right? You do it many weeks in a row. What starts to happen is it becomes a part of your automatic thinking. And then after enough repetition, your mind just automatically looks for the people, the events, the actions, the opportunities that's going to bring you closer towards your goal. It just happens, right? That's awesome. When you think about it, our mind is so powerful. I get excited about this kind of stuff. I don't know if you can tell. The next thing that happens when you read your goals twice per day, or your plan twice per day, is you avoid procrastination and you avoid inaction. So when you review it several days in a row, it's highly unlikely that you still haven't taken action because you keep putting it in front of you. So just by being confronted by your plan and your reasons, which is when we talk about the emotion is the reasons why you need to get it done, right? Logic is the what you need to get done, and the emotions are the reasons why you need to do it, why you must achieve it. You'll be motivated to take immediate action. So you got to remember, your life plan is a tool. It's a tool that guides you towards your goals. However, we're all going to experience setbacks, and that's okay, right? If you miss a goal, or let's say you take longer than planned to reach it, don't give up. You revise your plan and you make adjustments, but please celebrate every milestone that you achieve along the way. All right. I'm going to, just in case you missed it, if you don't design your own life, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much, right? Not much. Not much. That's why I wanted you to listen to that. Not much, not much. I want to say this as well. The same old thinking gives the same old results. Okay? The same old thinking over and over again gives the same results. It's a circle. So in order to get new results, what do you need? New thinking. To get new results, you need new thinking. It says there, some people want it to happen. Some people wish it would happen, right? And others make it happen. My prayer for you is that you're a make it happen person for 2023. That's my prayer, my hope, and my wish for you in 2023. And with that, I want to say Happy New Year. This is the very last Money Monday for 2022. Our next one will be in 2023. So I guess I could say, see you next year, right? I could say, see you next year. And with that, I wish you all of the blessings, all of the success. I wish you a powerful, powerful year for 2023. Put these principles that we talked about in place, and I promise you, your year is going to be the best year ever. So with that said, God bless you. You have yourself an amazing night, and I'll see you next year. Take care. God bless you guys. Hey, thank you so much for watching another Money Monday. We hope that you got value from today's content. And if you did, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And like always, inspire change.